Language in infants. As I told you in the last video was very so short, and we seen a little bit introduction to language, development of language actually, and in that we there was a little bit of section in which we talked about children as well. There was a point actually, not a little bit section. There was a point which discussed about children. So let's take that topic a bit further, and let's see language in infants. Now it is divided into two parts: is language in infants and language in children. Now we'll see first infants. This is divided into three subtopics, which is speech perception in infancy, language comprehension in infancy, language production in infancy. Now if you want to watch the last video, which is short, which is about development of language, I'll give you the black pop-up in the above of the screen. As soon as the video starts, you might see a black pop-up on the upper part of your screen about that video. You can click on it and watch it. Now let's get into this topic. Speech perception in infancy. Language acquisition stage begins with the ability to distinguish between the smallest sound units, i.e. phonemes of their language. Now language acquisition stage, it begins with the ability to distinguish between the smallest sound units. So you have to remember this. So language acquisition stage, when it begins with the ability to discuss to distinguish between the smallest sound units, that is phonemes of their language. Now what is phonemes? I've discussed about it in the last few videos of language. I'll give you that video in the bottom of the description as well. Studies have suggested that infants are very efficient not only in recognizing phonemes, but also in recognizing differences among different phonemes. Now, studies have suggested. Now, you have to remember this. What studies have suggested? They have suggested that infants, they are very efficient to not only in recognizing phonemes but also in recognizing differences among different phonemes. So, studies say that infants are very efficient to recognize phonemes, and also they are very efficient in recognizing the differences between phonemes. Now, what is phonemes? Phonemes is, let me just tell you in this video. Phonemes is such as a word pen. In that video also we discussed this example when we discussed phonemes. So phonemes, you take an example of pen. Now pen has is divided into P, E and N. So this P, E and N is called phonemes. Now let's get into the another topic. Language comprehension in infancy. Can infants understand the language? A question which many of the people have. To answer this, many studies have been done suggesting infants between the age of 4 to 5 months can turn their heads to the location from where their name is spoken, suggesting they can recognize their name. Now you have to remember the time span, like 4 to 5 months. Infants between the age of 4 to 5 months, according to many studies, they say that many studies say that the age of the infants in the age of 4 to 5 months, they can turn their heads to the location from where their name is spoken, suggesting they can recognize their name. So you can say that at the age of 4 to 5 months, these infants can actually recognize if someone is saying their name. Now further, they can understand the correspondence between a speaker's facial expression and emotional tone of the speaker's voice. Now further, these same infants can understand the correspondence between a speaker's facial expression. So they can understand the facial expression and emotional tone of a speaker's voice. You have to remember the name and year, Matlin 2009. Children start to understand their name usually by about 6 months, followed by commonly used words like bottle, mama, and doggy by 10 to 12 months. Now you have to remember these three name and year. Now let's read this point again. Children start to understand their name. Now they start to understand their name usually by about 6 months. So to remember this again, usually by about 6 months, according to many of the studies, children they start to understand their name, followed by commonly used words like commonly used, and they also not only understand their names at that age, they also understand simple words like bottle, mama, and doggy. These kind of commonly used words around them are also, or any commonly used words around them, they recognize it or they understand it at the age of like 6 months. By 10 to 12, by the age of 6 months they understand their name, and these simple words around them they understand it like 1 year, at the age of 1 year, 10 to 12 months you can say, even some even 10 months and 12 months. Now this is said by many of the studies. Now there are exceptions always, but this is what the majority of the studies show, that at the age of 5 to 4 to 5 months they understand, they recognize their name, and they also recognize the speaker's facial expression and emotional tone of the speaker's voice. And then at this age of about 6 months they start understanding their name, and then at the age of like 10 to 12 months they start understanding the commonly used words around them, just bottle, mama, doggy, or any kind of commonly used words around them in any language. And you have to remember the name and the year, and also you have to remember these ages like 4 to 5 months. What do they understand when they are 4 to 5 months, what they understand when they are 6 months, what they understand when they are 10 to 12 months. Language production in infancy. Now this is the last one. Language production in infants follows a series of a stage. Now language production in infants, it follows a series of stages. The intentional vocalization beings by the age of 2 months with cooing noises, it is a one vowel sound. Now the intentional vocalization beings, now the intentional vocalization beings by the age of 2 months with cooing noises, it is a one vowel sound. By the time the infant reaches the age of 6 to 8 months, now you have to remember the time, and I mean the year, or not year exactly, but months, like how what is the age of that infant and what he's understanding at that age. By the time the infant reaches the age of 6 to 8 months, infants start doing babbling, a vocalization that uses both consonants and vowels, often repeating sounds in a series such as da da da. Now, by the time the infant reaches 6 to 8 months, so now what it is saying is that when the age of the infant is 6 to 8 months, what does he do? He start doing babbling. Now, what is babbling? A vocalization that uses both consonants and vowels. Now, you might have noticed that the example which it has given, like da da da, these kind of words, many of the 6 to 8 months years old infants do actually. So they start doing babbling, and babbling is a vocalization that uses consonants and vowels both, often repeating sounds like this. Further, infants use different types of gesture to communicate with adults. Also, they use different types of gestures to communicate with adults. You might have already known that infants shake their head no around 6 to 9 months, when they are now, again you have to remember this time span. They infants shake their head no around 6 to 9 months, and they when they're 6 to 9 months, and they respond to verbal requests to do things like wave bye bye or blow a kiss around 9 to 12 months. Again, you have to remember the time span, 9 to 12 months. And that is it for this video. I'll give you some time to take the screenshot. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video with a new topic. Until then, or not new topic, a topic related to language again. This topic isn't finished yet. I'll give you the description. I'll give you those two videos about language I have uploaded until now. Development of language and introduction to language. I'll give you those links. In the development of language, you just saw a little bit part about this, actually, language in infancy and language in children. We're going to be discussing about it. It was very short video, but if you want to understand what is phonemes and the other types, you can watch the video I uploaded before it. It was the starting of this topic of language, and I'll give you those two links in the bottom of the description. And I'll give you a playlist as well. I just created a playlist recently. It is my first playlist about perception. The whole topic, it is in that uh, playlist. And you don't have to worry about those videos. Those videos are just like these videos, short videos. I don't upload like big videos. I just upload short videos. So yeah, I'll give you the playlist and these two videos in the description, in the bottom of the description. And I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. And as I always recommend you to subscribe to the channel and on the bell icon to stay notified and not miss the video I'll be uploading tomorrow. And also, if you love the video, like the video. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Until then, if you want to leave a like, you can leave a like.